My name is Mitch Rebeck with Tropical Realty Beachside, now powered by eXp Realty. And so I have a couple of purposes on this call today. One is to kind of explain why we made the switch from Tropical Realty Beachside as our brokerage over to Tropical Realty eXp. There's a couple of reasons for it, and which I'll go over in a second. I am recording this right now. Hopefully the recording works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it looks like it's recording right now. My goal here is just kind of explain to you what we did, why we did it, and how it works. I'm going to take you through a couple things. So I'm going to take you through sort of the presentation slides to show you options and on what we have. I'm going to take you into the support world. So they actually have to call it eXp World, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to take you into my back end and kind of show you how the opportunity part of it works for people that are interested in that part. Some people are and some people aren't. So we'll get through all of it. I'm going to try to do this in 45 minutes or less. I really value your time and I appreciate you being here. So let's get right into it. One of the things before I show the first slide, I always like to show to people, Tropical Realty is, Beachside is, one of the largest brokerages in the county, has been for a lot of years, always in the top 8 or 9, and sometimes as low as 5. Right now with eXp, with all the people that have come on board locally, and you add our revenues together, we're actually number 3 or 4. I have to redo the numbers. 3 or 4 in the county right now, and by the end of next year, we will be number 1. There's no question about that. One thing also, just a housekeeping note here, if you have any questions while we're going through this, please write them in the questions box, and I'll answer them as they come up, so we can stay on top of those, because sometimes I get inundated with questions, and I want to make sure I answer all your questions for you that you have today. So why did I make the switch? We were on track to profit about $400,000 this year at Tropical Realty, which is a nice profit, no question about that. Because of this move, I'm personally going to lose about $150,000. So a lot of people, my friends especially, who run large brokerages around the country like I do or did, they're like, why did you do that? What were you thinking? You're making so much money, and everybody was doing great. And I'll tell you the quick story of it. In November, I got an offer to sell the company, and it's for a sizable amount of money. The caveat to it, and this is the second time this happened to me last year, roughly about the same amount of money. The caveat to it was I had to sign an employment contract for 3 years for 40-hour-a-week minimum at the office. So for those of you who know me well, I'm an entrepreneur and I have multiple companies. I don't work day-to-day sitting in an office. I work mostly in my inside sales company in Rockledge, which I do about 50 hours a week at. And I have my phone, I have my computer, and everybody who works for me as an agent knows they can get a hold of me anytime they need me, and I'm always there. So the reason why I tell you that is not to boast that Tropical was going to make a lot of money this year. It was so you understand that for me to make this move was a very large decision. I studied and researched eXp Realty for 2 years until that November time. And what I realized in November when that happened, that there's no way out for me as a broker. There was no way out for me to sell the company and stay along the goals that I have for my businesses. So it really had me looking the last 6 months after that on on eXp and how do I use eXp to grow my business. But I also looked at another thing which is really important to me. Some of my agents that have been with me forever, you probably know these names: Joanne Haven, Debbie Sanders, Melissa Goldman, Ned Maloney. These guys have been with me for 12, 13 years, and there's a host more. Obviously, I'm not going to recite my entire brokerage here too, but I love them. I mean, they're family to me. They've been here. They're all at my golf tournament last week helping me out. And I looked at them and I said, every year it's the same thing. Every year they got to sit there and bust their cookies to make $100,000, and it's like starting over every year. And so I looked at that and I looked at myself and I said, what's our end game? So the slide I have up here right now that I'm showing you right now, it just kind of shows you some of the highlights of what helped me make my decision. And one second here. There we go. Okay, so the most important thing and the main reason why I did this is a better opportunity for my agents. I could have personally gone on making good money for the next several years and it would be fine. But it wasn't the best opportunity for my agents, and I really wanted to do that. At Tropical, we have great training. We've had great training. We're known for our great training. A lot of people have sent agents to us. Even other brokers send agents to us because of our training. However, which we haven't gotten rid of, by the way, we still do our great training, but eXp has phenomenal training. Great tools. They had more tools than I could possibly offer. And again, we'll go into some of that stuff in a few minutes. Better splits. Everybody in my brokerage got a raise as soon as we switched over. It's a company-owned brokerage, which I really like, meaning that, agent-owned, I'm sorry, not company, agent-owned company, which I really like because all of us have the opportunity to get stock. And by the way, the stock price as of yesterday was $4.25. When we joined in June, it was $3.90 or $3.75, I forget. But anyways, it's a great opportunity. They're writing some great articles right now. There was a big one that came out the other day from a Wall Street guy saying that Keller Williams and Remax needs to beware. It's just a great company, great culture. We just had the luxury of spending time in South Florida this past week, last week at the eXp Expo or convention. There are 800 people there from all over North America. It was great. Really, really cool people. And another part, there's an opportunity to create a nice retirement income. So it's got all these great things. And those are enough things for me to say, short term, I know I'm going to struggle a little bit financially with this model as a broker and as a large brokerage because our overhead doesn't go away. But long term, for my agents, for myself, it's going to be excellent. And in fact, we really had predicted that we'd be break even by May of next year as far as our expenses, because again, my expenses for being a large brokerage, but we'll be break even by the end of next month, which is pretty amazing, less than 6 months. Anyway, so your typical model in a brokerage is a brokerage like I was, Tropical Realty, and we do the marketing, we do the leads, we give you a 50% split or a 60% split or a 70 for my better agents, and that was it. We kind of controlled everything. If I wanted to change commission splits, I did, which, as my agents know, I did that probably 50 times, usually in their favor. But the new model, and what I like about this is it's agent-focused, agent-owned. There's a cloud office, which we'll go over, and I'll take you through that in a few minutes. There's 100 employees right now. I think it's actually 110 employees. When we started in June, there were 55. They have a phenomenal revenue share program, and they have tools like conversion and commission sync websites, which all you have that opportunity. It's pretty amazing stuff. So there's a huge focus and a huge shift in mindset when you go from the broker owns the company versus we own the company. So right now, myself and all my agents own this company. It's pretty exciting stuff. You have 3 options. If you're local, if you're not local, you can't do the top one. We have people on from all over the country on this right now. If you're local and you want to be part of the Tropical Realty brand, Tropical Realty Beachside brand, you can join Tropical Realty Beachside team. And I'm not going to get into that today and what we offer on that, but that's just one of your options. You can build your own brand. It's basically a brokerage within a brokerage, which is what we are now. So I am no longer the broker of Tropical Realty Beachside, which I will be honest with you is a very big relief, not having to be the broker anymore. Getting to be, if something happens legally, I'm not the one responsible personally anymore. So you can build a brokerage within a brokerage. We've had several people do that right now, and it's really cool. And then finally, you could just be eXp Realty. So it's whatever you choose to be. The beauty of this, and one of the other reasons I stayed with this, is the ability to private labels. So if you're a brand and you want to brand yourself, you can do it like the Susan Frederick team did it here. Or you could be more like eXp here, make that more prominent. Or you could do what we did here at Tropical Realty Beachside, powered by eXp. That's pretty much what most people are doing right now that are doing this. They're branding their own team and doing this, although we have a lot of people locally that just want to be eXp, and that's fine too. Again, for me, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever works best for you because you're all part of the same brokerage. And with that said, right now, our revenues, our gross sales dollars are running about 180 plus million right now, 180 to 185 million. Local brokerages that have joined. So this is happening. It's really cool. I mean, obviously we were the first ones to do it. In fact, we were the largest brokerage at the time to switch over to eXp nationwide. Housefax Realty, Brad and Christian switched their company over. Ralph Perone switched their brokerage over. Scott Langston switched their brokerage over. Ralph Post switched their brokerage over. These are not stupid people. These are people that get it, just like myself, that understand that there's another opportunity, and this is kind of the wave of the future. The big question for you is, do you work out of your house, or do you go to the brokerage every day? Do you sit in an office every day at your brokerage, or do you work out of your house 99% of the time? And we all know at Tropical Realty, we generally would have 1 or 2 people stop in a day out of 115 agents when we, last year, before we decided to slim down the company. And really 1 or 2 people would come in a day. So one of the things that I like about this is it's called the disruptive technology, and I'll give you a few examples of that. One, I was actually one of those people back in the mid-90s. Some of you don't know this about me. I was the first online dating service. And when we came in, we changed the whole industry. We were the first people private labeling dating sites on radio stations. It was really fun stuff. And it was completely changed. Now you look at dating the way it is today, 20 years later, or 25 years later, whatever it is, and everything's changed. It's the same as Netflix with Blockbuster. Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix for $50 million, which, by the way, I had the opportunity to buy Match.com for $50 million, and I turned it down too. Both were stupid moves. I should have bought them. But Blockbuster did not buy Netflix, and as soon as Netflix was able to stream, Blockbuster went out of business in a year. Amazon to retail right now. Statistically, they're saying that 25% of all malls will be closed in the next 5 years. That's because of places like Amazon. So we're the same way. We are a cloud-based brokerage, and I'm going to show you all that in a few minutes. But we're a cloud-based brokerage, and what does that mean? Everything's paperless. So we don't write contracts on paper and send files in anywhere. We do everything through a program called SkySlope, which is a really great program. It's very simple to use. All of our meetings can be online. We do both. We do locally. We do meetings online, but we're now actually broadcasting those in the live in the world too. We are a member with Regus corporations, and those are the corporate suites, which allows you to go into any Regus in the country and meet customers there, use their Wi-Fi, rent a conference room if you need to. Pretty awesome. We have one here in Melbourne. And by the way, for the people that are interested locally, if you join the Tropical Realty team, we have office space in Suntree and in the Atlantic still, and we will be there till the end of 2019 at a minimum. So for those of you locally that are want to have office space, we have office space. We're not going to get rid of that, not for a while at least. And like everything, I'll have my agents decide that when we're done with our leases. We do everything in the world, which I'm going to take you through a live version of that in a few minutes. So I'm not going to get into it. And again, my goal here is to keep this as brief for you guys to give you an overview, and then glad to meet with anybody in person to talk about details. Every week they do between 15 and 25 hours of live training. You get a schedule every Sunday night of what's going on that week. I actually personally just taught a class in there. We had 100 people from all over North America in the class. It's kind of weird. Again, I speak all over North America on live, live seminars. I just spoke in Fort Myers last week or the week before to about 250 people. So it's kind of fun when you're speaking to a crowd that's just staring at you blankly. It's a lot different than making people laugh, so you don't really know what they're doing. It was actually a little bizarre for me, to be honest, but it was really kind of cool. Everybody gets, if they want to use it, a Commissions Inc. website or a conversion website. Those sites alone would charge you at least $500 a month for each of those sites. So it's all part of your monthly fee, which I'll go over fees in a few minutes. They're all really easy to use. I tend to think conversion is a little easier. It's a very simple format, and it goes amongst every platform there is. So you can use it on your phone, you can use it on an iPad, you can use it on your computer. So pretty cool stuff. Any questions so far? It's all pretty straightforward. I think it's pretty straightforward. All right. So what we'll get into now is a little more of the nitty-gritty of the company. As I mentioned earlier, it's an agent-owned company. So when you have your first transaction of the year, you get 75 shares. So each year, when you have your first transaction, you get 75 shares. These do get diluted over time, which I'll show you in the next graph. When you cap is at $16,000, you get 175 shares. If you refer an agent to eXp, you get 175 shares upon their first transaction. The stock is public. I think I mentioned earlier it was at $4.25 this morning. That's what it closed out last night. They have also a direct purchase program, which I believe all of my agents did, which means you can take 5% of your commission and purchase the stock at a 20% discount. So that's pretty cool. And if you become an icon agent, so this is for people that actually do a lot of transactions. This is a really cool thing. capping is again $16,000. So depending on the commissions, between 2.6 and 2.8 million. If you sell 20 more transactions after you cap, you become what's called an icon agent. And an icon agent, they actually give you back $16,000 in stock. And so it means if you paid them $16,000 in money over the year for company dollar, you get that all back in stock when you become an icon agent. Very cool stuff. So that's how the ownership is. So all the agents own shares in the company, which is how we all own the company. And when you own the company, you have a different mindset. You own the company. You are actually owner of the company. It's a pretty interesting mindset. Next is our award chart. So this kind of shows you, and I won't spend any time on this, but right now we're at 5,000 realtors in North America. So we're at 75, 175, and 175. When we get to 6,000, which will be sometime by the end of the year, we'll be at 50, 125, 125, and so on down the road. So the longer you take to come on board, the more diluted the stock gets. That's pretty much any stock program out there. There's the revenue share model, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's just I'm going to spend a few minutes on it just so you understand it. Revenue share, there's a difference between revenue share and profit share. So some companies have profit share, some people have revenue share. So profit share is a bottom line expense, meaning after everybody gets paid, there's money at the bottom. So when everybody's paid, you get your share. Revenue share is a top line expense, meaning you get paid on revenue. That's just the way it works. It is built on a network marketing model, which is a network marketing guy. I love network marketing. I just would never have done it in the past because to me, network marketing meant getting people to sell pills and potions and things like that. It's just not what I'm going to do. The beauty of this thing is when you bring people on board to eXp, you're just asking people to do exactly what they do. So if you're a marketing person, you understand this. Other people don't get this and will never do this. They'll be a realtor, not just be a realtor, but they'll be a realtor and that's all they want to do, which is totally fine because eXp is one of the best brokerages in the country, if not the best. So there's obvious ways of making revenue off people that you bring on under you. Just like the Keller Williams model, the exit model. You can make up to $2,800 for people directly under you. If they bring on people and you have 5 people under you directly, you can go up to $3,200 and so on down the road. If you want to have more detail about this, I'm glad to chat with you about it. Again, and I'll give you a quick example of what does that mean revenue. And this is what I was talking about for retirement income. So I like to keep things in simple terms. If you talk to some of the people who are with eXp, they're saying, well, you can make millions of dollars a year, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not realistic for 99% of the people out there. But what is realistic is over the next 3 years, if you brought on 2 people a year, that are all people that do 2.5, 2.6 million or better, and they all brought on 1 person a year that does the same revenue, that means you're making an average of $36,000 a year residual. So again, that's a pretty sizable number. I really think $36,000 a year as a retirement income is great. And that's how I like to do this. I could tell you from owning a brokerage for 13, almost 14 years, agents have always brought people to me. How many people have you brought to the company that you were with now? New agents or agents that are experienced. So it's a really simple model if you just think of it like this. I don't get into the whole, millions of dollars things because that's not for 99% of the people. But if you just brought on 2 people a year, so that means 2 people a year you meet or they're getting their license or whatever, and over the next 3 years you do that, and those people are all brought on 1, that's $3,000 a month on an average. And so what does that do for you as far as financially? How does that affect you in retirement? And remember I was telling you when I was looking at my agents that have been with me for a long time, this is the opportunity that I saw for them because everybody I mentioned has brought on people to Tropical Realty over the years. And this gives them an opportunity to create a residual income. That's really what it comes down to. Any questions about that? Again, I'm glad to go over that in person or over the phone with somebody in a lot more detail, but my goal is just to give you an idea of what we're doing. Startup cost. And so what does it cost to get started in this program? There's a $99 one-time fee, which includes your first month tech fee, and that includes 1,000 business cards, your folders, a lead generation website, conversion or commissions Inc., WordPress site, a Google business site, eFax account, broker breakthrough. There's so many programs that it offers you that are all part of your monthly fee, and it's a $99 startup fee. For those Canadian people that are on here, for me, it's a little bit more money. We can discuss. I think it's $149 for Canadian because of the exchange rate, and we frankly don't have enough a lot of people in Canada yet, since we just opened there in the past few months. And once we get more people in here, we'll be able to scale bigger and get better pricing. There's a $50 a month fee. That's your only monthly fee. And that includes all the training, and it includes all the cloud office, and the conversion website, and all the other tools that they give you. And then there's a once a year $420 fee that is your education fee that's taken out of your first transaction. So that counts for all your all the training that goes on. The training, by the way, is there's beginner training, real estate 101, basically, all the way up to advanced video marketing and Facebook marketing. And there's just a tremendous amount of training, again, 15 to 25 hours a week. And then, more importantly, all of it is archived and easy to access for everybody. It's great. And then finally, on this part of it, is the split. So let me explain the commission to you. And again, we don't make you come in to see this. This is all straightforward to us. Commission is 80-20 split until you cap. There's no franchise fee. So those of you that are part of franchises, you're paying 5 or 6% franchise fee. You cap at $16,000 paid to eXp. Again, right around 2.6 to 2.7 million. After you cap, you get 100% commission. I have a question. Let me just read what that says here. Is that fee for a straight agent? As a brokerage, are those fees different? This is for an agent. These are the fees. If you're a team, you can set it up differently. I'm going to go into that in a few minutes because I have one of the questions about team, but I didn't want to say anything about it yet because that's another whole thing. But yeah, this is basically everybody's thing. Actually, I'll talk about teams for a second while you brought it up. So if you're an agent and you come on board, this is your structure. There's a $25, your transaction fees are a $25 broker review and a $30 E&O insurance. So it's up to $500. Once you cap, pretty much the $30 E&O goes away because the cap's at $500. And there's a $250 fee per transaction plus $25 broker review. So $275 transaction fee, but you're getting 100% commission at that point. If you are a team, and a team is described as it's two different types. If you're a team, just a husband and wife team or a two business partner team, you share in all that expenses. So if you are say Debbie and Joanne is a great example, they're a team. So they share the $16,000 cap. So that cap for the both of them is only $16,000. If you're a team like some of the other teams that are on board with us, you would have a $16,000 cap for the team leader. And as long as 25% share is going to the team leader, you can do an $8,000 cap for each of you people under you that are part of your direct team. So $16,000 cap for the team leader and $8,000 cap for the people under you. Hopefully that answers your question there. But so that's pretty much it. Once you've capped, if you've done more transactions, if you became an icon agent, the fees are just $75 a transaction after that. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple. All my people that came on under Tropical Direct when we came over, I didn't do the team split. I wanted them to be able to run their own businesses, which is what we're doing right now. So in closing on this part, and I got more to show you, why join what we're doing? It's the future of real estate. I truly believe that. Great technology, agent ownership, great revenue share program that I showed you. You can actually retire on this. You can grow your business. And by the way, you can grow your business anywhere. Meaning if you know agents in California, in Edmonton, in Toronto, in New York, in anywhere, they can join with you and you can work together. We've got some stuff that we're doing with some of the team that I've been amassing over the country. We will be doing lead generation programs for other realtors all over the country, and we'll be sharing in those revenues. So there's lots of ways to do this. I've got a friend of mine who is a real estate coach who has a large team. He's in the process of onboarding shortly, and he has access now to 5,000 people to do coaching. So there's a whole slew of advantages of how you can grow your business with this. Any questions about any of this stuff? No questions? You guys are easy. All right, I'm going to get rid of that for a second. Actually, let's save it down here. And what I'm taking you to now is called the eXp world. And I'm going to be honest with you. For me, it was a little bit hokey when I first looked at it. I was like, all right, come on. I'm 56 years old. I don't need to be playing with avatars. But when I've gone on and actually played with it and actually had to use it for services, it's pretty amazing stuff. So what I'm showing you right now is agent services. So if you need a question, see all these people that are in here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all customer service people waiting to help you. So I had a problem with one of my logins last week. I went on here, and within 15 seconds, it was done. Now, again, for local people, or any of my people, if you have a question, you can always call me and ask a question. I'm always available. As again, people that know me know that. But this goes from 8 in the morning to 8 at night, and it's pretty extensive. If you wanted to go into one of the classes that they have, you can go to the auditorium. That's where I gave my class last week. This is the auditorium. So here you have people. And by the way, all these people that you see standing around, those are all real people. I notice Howard keeps following me around. Stop following me, Howard. And so this is, you can go in here and you can watch classes in here. You actually go in here and you sit down and can look at a class. I'll do that real quick so you can see. You can do pretty much anything you want. So now I'm sitting down watching the class. It's really pretty cool stuff. And then finally, if you want to have private meetings, so we have meetings, so we do our meetings for our company now and people that have joined me. And we last time we did meeting room 7, so we went in there, and hopefully there's nobody in there because I'm going there now. So I went in here and we had a private meeting. So you can do private meetings, consultations. You can go into accounting and talk to accounting. Your transaction team, you have transaction management that watches over your paperwork to make sure you have all the paperwork. If you're in Florida, you do get paid at the table, which is wonderful. Everybody likes that. They have technical tech outputs for tech support. Pretty much everything you could think of is all done here. Again, when I first started doing it, I was like, all right, this is kind of crazy. But after doing this for several months now, we've used this all the time, and it's amazing. Any questions about that? All right. You can even go play soccer every once in a while at night when I'm really bored. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I come to see if anybody's in here, and I'll go to the soccer field and I'll hit soccer balls. I don't know if it's going to take me over there, but anyways, that's the world. That's what I wanted to show you on that. You can walk around. You can transport automatically. I choose to walk around a lot. There's my soccer field. You can hit soccer balls. But this gives you an idea of how we get support. So you have the beauty of support here whenever you need it. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop. And you also have the beauty, if you're local, is to use myself or anybody else. Hey, Craig. It's kind of funny people following me around here. All right, I'm going to log out of here. And I'm going to take a second here. I'm going to log into my backend. And I'm not logging into my backend to show you anything but how to how it works from the revenue share portion of this. So some of you may not be interested in this for revenue share wise, but I do want to show you how it works so you understand it and what we do. So I'm logging in now into my back end. So this is, again, it shows me all sorts of stuff. Now I don't really do transactions, so you won't see under transactions. You can track your transactions. I don't really, I did a transaction under this because I don't really do transactions, but you can track your transactions. Again, I don't do that. You can track your revenue share. So this will tell you right now I have 116 people who have joined Tropical or eXp with us since we started this. We actually didn't start bringing people on until mid-August. We had 40 when we started, and now we're up to 116. So just in a couple of months. This tells you I have 21 people that are directly under me, meaning they're people that I brought on personally, and the rest of those people are people that other people have brought on too. So it's pretty cool. This shows you that I just got a check yesterday for $6,891.66, and in process for the next month is already $4,100. You can track your revenue, and again, I'm being very transparent here because I'm showing you what I make off this. You can see here when I first started this, we did $1,600, then we did $4,900, then we did $6,100, then we did $6,800. We're already at $4,100 now, and I can tell you that's mostly from the people that were part of Tropical when I first started. So a lot of this is just people that are coming on now that are doing transactions now. And then finally, and this is still equating, this is not going to show you much, but you can track the stock that you're getting here and who you got the stock from, who you brought on. So these are all really, cool ways of doing it. Plus, all of your training is in one place. So you can do express rate training, you can do news, you can do your calendar for things, You can invite people into the world. You don't have to, by the way. If you want to write this down, expcloud.com. You can download the world we were just in, create an avatar, and go in and ask people about eXp Realty. I did that. Before I did this, I talked to at least 50 agents, and I did that to make sure that I was comfortable with this whole thing and that people that I was talking to that worked. I talked to people through Facebook. I searched for everybody that I could find on eXp Realty and Facebook, and I probably talked to, again, about 50 people. What was your experience? What's the downside? What's the negatives? I can tell you it's a fastly growing company, and that was really pretty cool to do that. So if you go to expcloud.com, you can also go to invite.exprealty.com, and you can also go there. Thanks, Aaron. Invite.exprealty.com. Either way, any questions about anything I showed you? Because that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about and explain to you why I did. I really wanted to quell some of the rumors. I can't believe some of the stuff that I've heard locally. Mitch sold his company and retired. Mitch is evil. It was kind of disheartening. Some of the stuff I heard, but we've gained so much momentum now, and I'm really excited about the future with just about 100 agents within Brevard County, and that's exciting. Okay, so question: what if I don't want to? I can't read it. What if I don't want to recruit agents? I just want to sell houses. Well, that's the beauty of this. It's a great program for people that just want to be realtors. That's 90%, 95% of everybody I talk to. They just want to be a better realtor. So you have great training, you have great support, you have great splits. What you really have to ask yourself is how often do you go to the office and use that? Again, being a broker for 13, almost 14 years, I can tell you that most people don't go to the office. That's just the way it works. Next question. Do they have a lot of marketing tools? So yes, they do have a lot of marketing tools. They have, it's on the eXp Cloud site, but I don't think you can get in there unless you're actually an agent with us. They also have a program called Breakthrough Broker, which is a great program which allows you to do all sorts of flyers and brochures. They have templates for everything. They have logos for everything. They have the luxury division. They have the commercial division. Pretty much anything you could possibly need, they have templates for. Okay, the question I had earlier, and actually I'm just clicking through everything here, is I have a team. How does that work as far as the caps go? And I explained that is the $16,000 cap and the $8,000 cap for the teammates. Again, we can talk about that later on if you're interested in that. Do Florida agents get paid at the closing table if they're on the buyer's side? Yes. Florida agents get paid at the table, whether you're on the buyer or the listing side. So either way, you get paid at the table. The only thing you have to do is make sure your paperwork is within 5 days. That's not your closing paperwork. That's your paperwork, your contracts. All your stuff has to be there. And I would say very, very seldom do we have to mail the checks in and get paid. And even then, it's about a 24 to 48 hours to get paid. But according to all my agents, they're all getting paid. As a very small brokerage, how does it? Let me just delete some of these things here. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm a little slow here. As a small brokerage, very small, how does this help me grow my office and business? Okay, so a small brokerage, most of the small brokerages that are coming on as a team model. So it's very simple to grow your business. It's just very simple. You come on just like a team, and I'm glad to sit down and talk with you about that in person or over the phone. But you come on as a team, and then you're basically doing whatever splits you're doing. So I'll give you a couple of examples of people that have come on as teams. One of them is a internet guy like me, and they do lots of leads like I do for my agents, and they take a 50% referral fee on every sale. I have another team that came on, and they do a 10% referral fee on every sale. They don't generate leads, but they offer training and all that other stuff as a team. So the split to the agent is 70-30, so the team leader gets 10%. It's really flexible. That's where they say you can run your own brokerage within a brokerage. Here's the thing and I know we have a few brokers on here, so let me explain to you about brokerages for a second. The hardest part of being a broker is the liability. And I'm going to say something, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but the babysitting part of it is very, very challenging and very, very difficult. As a team, you don't really lose that part of it, but you lose all the liability. I can tell you that. And again, I'm going to be. If you those of you who are on here that know me know I'm very transparent, but I bawled my eyes out when I did this. I mean, I spent 13 years working 80 hours a week building Tropical Realty Beachside into one of the biggest companies in the county. And here I was giving away my baby for nothing. But I knew in the long term, for my agents and for myself, this was the best thing I could do for everybody. But it was tough. It was a real challenge. But I will tell you, the day that we made the switch, June 1st this year, I can't tell you the relief that I had. It was pretty awesome. I knew then that I was no longer liable. And I can explain to you as a broker, and again, we were large at one point, and we got smaller, and then now we're what we are, which is big again. As a team, we are in the process right now of 3 lawsuits. It's not very fun, and those were things that also helped me get to this decision. That as a broker, as much as I love my agents that work with me and for me, I have no clue what they're really doing in the field, and therefore my butt is on the line every day. I have other brokerages that are my inside sales agents company, for instance, is a brokerage. I have 2 referral companies, one for fundraising and one for agents locally that don't want to be part of the board, don't sell houses. I had to be able to do those things and not jeopardize my license. So hopefully that answers your question. One question I have here is, can we use the invite.eXp Realty to show other people what we do here? Yes, you can show other agents what we do here once you're part of our team or part of eXp, just by taking them through that cloud version. That's how I learned more about this company. How does paying out a referral fee to an agent outside eXp affect things? It doesn't. It's exactly like you would pay a referral to anybody. It comes off the top of your commission, and you pay it to the brokerage, and it works like that. The headquarters is in Seattle, Washington, so checks are sent from Seattle, Washington to that's how we do our lead system. So in our lead system, if you're part of our lead system, which we are bringing on more agents for that right now, when you're part of our lead system, we just charge a referral fee back to you as a lead. And that's how a lot of the teams work. It's just a referral fee back to the team leader. Lots of great questions, so I appreciate that. It's always more fun when people actually ask questions. Any other questions for me? I'll give it a few seconds. 1, 2. There you go. All right. Well, I really appreciate you showing up here. We had a good amount of people on the call here. If you have any questions, my contact info is mitch@tropicalrealtyhomes.com. My phone number is 321-258-4150. I am glad to help you with anything that you need help with. If you have questions, you want to chat about this, if you're interested in joining, let me know, and that'd be great. You can go to jointropicalexp.com. That's jointropicalexp.com. That's where you would register to do this. Thanks again. I did record this, so if you want a copy of the recording, please email me. And you have an awesome day today. Have a great weekend. Thanks again for showing up. Bye-bye.